story is it's one for the books, man. From surviving a rare disease to igniting a global movement of resilience and empowerment that's touched lives in over 140 countries. Yeah. You wanted to clarify something with regards to that statement, 140 countries. Maybe you can put it out there.
One of the things I wanted to clarify is that I'm also a member of I Change Nations, and I Change Nations is founded by Dr. Clyde Rivers, and that itself is in over 140 countries around the world. And however, my initiative, it has been in many countries, but I would dare to say, out of respect, that it hasn't been into 140 just yet, but I'm on my way.
Exactly. That's going to manifest.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you often say resilience is universal, So, like I said, in a world, in a country, in a continent that's, going through so much trauma from, stuff like wars and inequality, what does resilience actually look like in action? What does that look like for the regular person? That's fine.
Yeah. Well, resilience in action, think about this.
Right.
What we've been through.
Right.
What we've come through. It's funny how you run into someone who hasn't really had a whole lot of things happen in their life, but they develop tough skin. But you don't develop tough skin unless you've had some interactions with negativity, problems, hazardous things that have come across. But at the same time, resilience is built from struggles. From understanding what it's like and the concept of what it takes to get out of it, and you can, because there's a different level of appreciation when you've come through so many different struggles in life. Yeah. But the thing is, how do you know how to apply it as you move forward in life? Right. Because it's funny, because as we go through things, there are times that we also see those same instances again. Yeah. But this is how we better learn how to handle it.
Yeah, that's amazing how you put it. Yeah, so you're saying the energy that we go through, the pain, all those other things, that can be channeled towards a good cause.
Yes.
You can use it to catapult your life.
Yes.
And in your work, you've met apparently people from all walks of life, from inmates to global leaders.
Yes.
How did those conversations turn out? What actually stood out for you when you sit back and you remember, you're like, wow, that was very powerful.
Right. It's been very life-changing, and meeting kings around the world. I never met a king until I first came into Africa, and I was actually in Uganda. I got a chance to go to Toro Kingdom and meet King nice. Oyo, the youngest king in the world. Yeah. So I was actually at the palace there with him, but actually understanding what it means to be a global leader, right. Somebody who has the influence. And one of the things that they really instilled in me is the confidence to believe in not only what I believe, but to believe in the people. Because this is not a selfish thing. This is a selfless thing. When you go into communities, sometimes you have to remove yourself to see the better needs of others. Yeah. And I think that's highly important, no matter where I go, that I make sure that I keep eyes open wide, so that even though I'm here to teach, there's still so many things I can learn in this life. Yeah. And I know there's so many great people out there to give me an opportunity to not only, speak with them, have meetings, but also learn from them as well.
Exactly. Being a humanitarian leader takes a lot of work. You need so much energy and resilience.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm sure you burn out sometimes.
I do.
How do you create that balance? How do you sustain this energy? How do you motivate yourself? And you say, there's still a lot of work to do.
Yes.
While at the same time taking care of your own health.
Yes. Right? And my health is important. And I have to make sure that I focus on the things. And I tell people all the time, you cannot be any good to someone else until you understand how to be good to yourself.
Correct.
And once I learn how to do that, one of the things that I can give any advice on is, this is a heart thing. What touches the heart? What makes it matter more? Because we can burn out mentally, but if your heart is in it, there's so much more that you can add value to. Because what I do is, when I go into these communities and I see the young girls who need the sanitary towels, or I see the young boys who need the underwears, or I see that there are orphanages that don't have food, beans, rice, and things like that. When I go in there, it bothers me to see that there's someone else without, and I get a chance to go back home and have my nice hot meal. But at the same time, it's nothing in comparison to seeing people who need. When your heart is into it, you will feel exactly what your intentions are when you go into these communities.
Yeah. You come off as somebody, obviously, who has a very positive mental attitude. You've done the work, clearly. And like I mentioned earlier, the country, many young individuals are going through a mental health crisis.
Yes.
Right? So what are some of the principles of the mental reel-off state that young folks can live by?
First of all, one of the things is accountability. To be accountable for our actions. Because a lot of times when we have these breakdowns, when mentally we're struggling, it's easy to pass the buck, as they would say, on to reasons why we are in conditions that we're in. Notice that you can adapt to the change by creating the change.
Right.
You are the author and finisher of your own story. And if you're the author and finisher of your own story, what you have to understand is that you are in control of your destiny. Yeah, I understand circumstances and situations a lot of us go through, and even to this day, there is struggle, there is pain, there is hurt, there is suffering. But this is the part of the mindset that I'm trying to get people to understand, is that you are still in control. No matter what you see, always remember, you are still in control, because what happens is we lean in sometimes when we need to lean out. When we lean into the circumstances, we lean into the arguments, to the fights, to the anxiety, to the depression. When we lean in on those things, that we wonder why they become a fabric of our being. But it doesn't mean that it's not going to come for you. It doesn't mean that it's unavoidable. There are a lot of things that we run into that are totally unexpected. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you understand that you're in control, my mom used to tell me, she used to say, listen, when you're tired, no one has to know anything. That's funny, because you find people who have problems and you talk about them all the time. But my mom said, when you're really tired, you will create a change. And there may not be anybody that even knows about your change, but it starts from within. And that's why I say, just remember that you are always in control.
Yeah, so I love how you've put it, because there's certain things that you're not in control over.
This is true.
And what you're saying, ideally, is those are things that you shouldn't have anything to do with. Mm. So you should only focus on the controllables, quote unquote, right?
Yes.
How do you know you're not supposed to work? Okay. So basically, what are some of the things that give us an example of the things that you're not in control over?
Well, one of the things that I know that I'm not in control over is life and death.
Right.
Now let's talk about this for a second. Why is it that we have so many people, so many families, so many generations who have been decimated by death? There's families that we grew up in. My example is my family. My grandmother was my matriarch in our family. She held us all together. By one word, she would bring everybody together. But when her days got later and it was time for her to transition, that was the hardest thing for our family. But the true thing about that is our family never rebounded. It was hard to come back together again. Very few, far between. We don't see each other like we used to. Okay. So when I talk about the experiences of death, what it does and how it affects people, how we have kids that are walking the streets that don't have parents anymore, how we have children who are doing the best that they can, but there's somebody that's missing from the family. And we don't understand directly how that affects their mentality until they actually decide at some point that this is a conversation we need to have. Mm-hmm. So my example for that is understanding the concept of what that really does, not only to hurt an individual, but to a family, and then also to that generation as well.
I'm sure the people who are listening to us, and they live in very toxic environments, so they have the will to keep on fighting, but somehow they have to be around people who keep on reminding them that they're not worth it. You know, that their dreams are not valid, for example.
Right.
It could be family members, it could be friends, co-workers, you know, in offices, for example. And at the same time, you know, you need to, for example, in a workspace, you need to make the money.
Yes.
Right? So how do you handle a situation like that? You know, how do you block out the noise, the negativity, and yet at the same time stay grounded and stay resilient, you know, and of course, you know, be hopeful and that kind of thing?
Yes. Two things: vision and goals. Now, I was just at a conference yesterday. I spoke, and one of the things that I would tell people is, say what you see until you see what you said. Now, the power behind that is understanding that you're in control. And I say this again, you're in control of what your thoughts are, but understanding that setting the standard are your goals. Your goals is what's going to set the standard for you. Now, I've been in these positions many times. I mean, it took me some time to overcome quite a few of them when people would tell me all the things I couldn't do. And especially predominantly with this leg condition that I have right now. The Murgor disease is a very hard thing to overcome, and I still live with this right now. And so every day I have to deal with pain. Every day I have to tell myself there's something else I can do more. But when people are looking you in the face and they're telling you you're not worth it, I'm not going to spend any money on you. What are you going to do with your life? You know, there's a lot of people that have the mentality that it's okay to be talked to that way, because they've been hearing it their entire life, let's be honest. And the fact of the matter is we have generational curses that continue to follow through one cycle to the next. And the thing is, if I hear it and I tell you, guess what? You heard it. And if you tell your son, he heard it. If you tell your daughter, she heard it. So if it starts with you, you make sure that you are the person in position to change that generational curse, to give your next generation an opportunity and a chance, because they deserve it.
Even with all the things that you're going through, you can still change your future.
Yes.
You know, that's very beautiful. Like, this is very personal for me, by the way, when I'm happy.
Yes, sir.
I'm not just talking for the people.
I'm trying to keep cool. It's very personal as well. This is why we have these conversations.
Exactly. Yeah. So you often talk about inner strength and divine purpose. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the role of faith and spirituality when it comes to your journey, and of course being resilient out there for folks who are listening to us. Mm-hmm. You know, how does it play out in when it comes to the philosophy of mental freedom and global healing, spirituality and faith? How should we go about it?
First of all, I certainly hope that everyone hearing me has a faith system. What their beliefs are is their beliefs. I'm not here to tell them what to believe, but let me share this with you. I believe in God. I believe in my revelation for what happens to me in my life. I also believe I'm in control of my destiny, but prayer is a high priority on my list. Faith is a high priority on my list. Faith is driven by understanding, and understanding the faith that you have is what's going to help carry you, because I'm telling you, there's going to be painful situations in life. There's going to be painful situations with people that you love. There's going to be painful situations with what you go through. But when you build a system of faith, build a system of spirit and faith and understanding that who's in control, it can help steer you. Because sometimes my knees was the best friend that I had, because I spent a lot of time on bending knees trying to give some type of prayer and understanding, because it's hard and I know this, when people come and say, I understand what you're going through. Now let me elaborate on that, because when you tell somebody you understand what they're going through, I think that's a false sense of security. Because you're not in their shoes.
I agree.
You don't know what they've walked through.
Yep.
You don't know the hardship. And a lot of times we see people and we may look down at them because they might have dirty clothes, or they may be carrying a bottle, or they may not look like their hygiene is intact. But you don't know what it took for them to get out of that gutter. You don't know what it took for them to walk away from a situation that could have taken their life and gave them a chance again, just to stand in front of you to be consequently shamed.
Yes.
So believe I believe in God, because God has given me everything that I have. He's given me an initiative that the thing is, I can't make this up. This is my life. What I live is what I give. And because I'm living it, I have to continue to give it. If it takes, they say, do it for the one. And if I can do it for just one person, I know that I'm creating a change in this world, because it's so important to make sure that somebody else has an opportunity at this life just like I do.
That's right. That's right. The lady that I was conversing with before this conversation with yourself, Dr. Michael, told me something so powerful. A lot of people have written stories about the African people. We've been told that we're not worth it. We've been told all these other crazy things. I'm talking about historical injustices. So literally a whole generation, since hundreds of years ago, have been broken, and they're going through so much trauma, and there's generational curses and generational traumas still affecting families till this day. And what you're doing is very resourceful, to come to Kenya, to this continent, and have these types of conversations with folks at a time when, of course, like we've established, when people are so broken and millions of people are not just in Africa, worldwide. But let's just focus on the African context. Do you foresee a time when Africans will be liberated? Do you foresee a time when we'll be healed with all these traumas that we've been going through? Where we'll live with dignity and thrive, and we'll rewrite our stories.
Yes.
A story of, of freedom and happiness and hope and that kind of thing.
I'm sitting here smiling as he's saying this, y'all. So let me give this to you in plain text. I believe that Africa is one of the most resourceful places in the entire world. Now, I'm saying that because think about this. If there is an opportunity for us to overcome as a people, yes, I'm including myself in that. I've been in Kenya enough. I love coming here. But if we can overcome some of the things that, and the thing is, everything lasts but for a season. And eventually that leaf will turn. And when it turns, ask yourself, what position do you want to be in? The reason why I press so hard for our youth, because they are 100% of our future. Our innovation is going to thrive, and one day you won't sit in that chair, and one day I won't sit in this chair. Somebody else is going to take over where we leave off, but what are we leaving them? We have a lot of youth in this world right now. We have a lot of youth that have a great mentality, that are very resourceful to understand what they're trying to do at this point in life. But if we can continue to pour into them, that's our duty. Our duty is to make sure. Now, here's the thing, that we don't stamp out the ideas of the next generation. I'm wowed a lot of times when I go places, the mindset of some of our young people who know so much about social media, who know how to figure these things out. And I come from a generation where I was in high school before we saw an Apple computer. So what I'm saying is that to make sure that we leave the world in the right place, I love where I see, not the fact that what I'm seeing in person. I'm saying the position that Africa is in based off of other countries I've gone to, because they have hardships in the UK, Correct. They have hardships in Canada, they have hardships in US, they have hardships in South America, they have hardships. But what I see every time I come here is saying, man, when they get, not if, when we get our things together in this country, nobody, you guys are sitting on the gold mine of the world. Innovation, land, generosity, food, production, resilience, all of these things, I'm saying, it's sitting right here.
Right.
And the fact is, when are we going to realize that we are in control of this destiny that belongs to us? It already belongs to you. I'm honored to come back here as often as I can to be a part of this. I'm dead serious. I am honored to come back to Kenya. And I'm not saying Africa, because I make my trips to Kenya at least 2 to 3 times a year. Right. And every time I'm here, I've gone to Kajiado County and been with the deputy governor and the mayor and presented awards. I've been to Kigali. I've been to multiple regions. I've been to Mombasa. I've been to not just Kajiado. Hold on, Kwale. I've been to Kwale, Kisii, Numira. I've been to many regions with this initiative for mental real estate. But the transformational piece is that everywhere I've gone, I've seen the ability of the people, and when they put heads together, I go outside. Listen. If I can say real quickly, in the U.S., they build skyscrapers with buildings. They build skyscrapers with large machines. Right. They pull up this, they lift this, they do that. The first time I came here, I saw like probably a 15-story apartment building going up, and I seen homemade scaffolding.
Right.
Come on, man. Now, the thing is, I can't make this up. When I look at this, I say, look at the innovation of this. It's not the fact that they're building a building. It's how they're doing it, with the mindset of knowing how to put this wood together, how to tie this wood together, how to build it to different levels and hold it sustainable for heights of maybe 200 feet. And they're getting it done. Now, where would it be if all of our people decided, you know what, we're tired of this. We're tired of being stepped on. We're tired of being walked on. Give us our own community and leave us alone and watch what happens.
Correct.
Watch us. And the thing is, Kenya has they have the advantage to build it right from their homeland, brick by brick.
However long it's going to take.
However long it takes. And they deserve it.
Yeah. So you've received high honors and global recognition.
Yes, sir.
You know, how do you balance, you know, all the, you know, the feeling of getting all these accolades and recognition and staying humble and vulnerable and relatable?
You know, one thing I learned about these awards, and the thing is, whether they're deserved or not, is not my decision. My decision, and when it comes to what I do, is to provide for the people. I went and received the former president of Ethiopia, Mr. Gorgas. I received his presidential award back in July and in the U.S. And one of the things that I said when I stood up there is, I do this for the people. If the people is what brought me here, it's only the people that can sustain me. The award is only relative to those who want to give it and those who see the accolades and want to acknowledge that award. I proudly receive it, but I understand why I'm doing it. I understand that every time I come here, I will roll up my sleeves. Now, here's the thing. I love the fact that people put on these conferences. They have these fantastic buildings. They put on these fantastic dinners. They have all these different things that make it so interesting and so attractive. But I roll up my sleeves. I go to the people. I don't present these awards in these halls or towers. I go to the people where I believe my initiative belongs, and they see the sacrifice. When I went all the way into Laikipia, I was just here in March. I went all the way into Laikipia and into the village of the Maasai.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But the fact is, my belief system comes from what I'm doing. And there's no accolade that they can give me good enough to knock me off of it, because it wasn't an accolade that brought me here. It was the people.
Yeah. That's amazing. So if somebody wants to share your story or partner with you in one way or the other, how can they find you?
You can reach me on social media right now. Also by Michael Freeland. On my Facebook is Michael Freeland, and you'll look at it. You'll see a DJ Mike J logo, and you click on that, and you'll see I do every Monday. I've been doing this for almost 5 years now. Every Monday I have a mental reel of state. I just did it last night. And every Monday I speak on different subject of the mentality, talking about so many different life situations, but I give it through life applications. I don't speak it if I haven't acknowledged or been through it. So I don't throw out things just to be saying something. I come up with the evidence of what I have in my life.
Right.
And then I relate it to how it can help your life. So find me on Michael Freeland. And also you can go to mentalrealestate.org and you can see what we do for mental real estate, the communities we've gone to, so many different regions that we've been to, and we're going to continue the work that we've already started. So find me there as well.
God bless you. You're doing such an amazing job. You're very valuable to us as a people.
Yes.
And you're very resourceful to the world.
Thank you.
You're going places. What's your final word to the youth of Africa and Kenya specifically?
My final word, first of all, let me say, man, I love you guys. I'm serious. I couldn't find greater people, but the reality is this: if you want to see something better in your life and in your world, I'm not going to act as if I don't understand that you guys are going through hard times and struggles, because I know that you are. I can't be there to see everything that you're hurting from, but what I am going to say to you is this: remember exactly who you are. Understand why you were created. You have a vision that God has given you. You have something that's down on the inside of you. Now, this may sound cliche, but what I'm saying to you is give yourself an opportunity. I didn't say let somebody else give you. When I said give yourself an opportunity to lift yourself up by the bootstraps. Because let me tell you, as much as we want, we have to work. And as much as you work, you have to work harder. You can't give up on you, because you can't give up on life. The minute you give up on you, there is somebody that is your assignment that you may reach one day, but they need you to take care of you right now. So as you do that, remember, moving forward, someone's going to be looking for you. They're going to need what you have. They want to hear what you have to say, because trust me when I tell you, I've been there firsthand experience, that I know each one of you have that value system, and it belongs to you. I'm not giving you something that belongs to me. It belongs to you. Take full ownership of who you are and what you want to see in this world, and watch Kenya and Africa becoming everything that I have envisioned it to be. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much. Finally, before I let you go, is there any resources, like a book or something, that you would recommend folks to read?
Yes. On Amazon right now, the book is 5-star. It has been out for some time, but because there's so much work to do in this book that has become my global initiative, it's still available. It's on Amazon. The title of the book is called Free Your Land. Free Your Land. Subtitle: Developing Your Mental Reel of State, by yours truly, Dr. Michael J. Freeland Jr. Please go get that book. It has been given in so many places, and it will help transform not only your mentality, but help transform the mentality of your communities as well. I have the evidence and results to prove it. Take my word.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. All right, guys, as you've heard, that was the one and only Dr. Michael J. Freeland Jr.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. From surviving a rare disease to igniting a global movement of resilience and empowerment that's touched lives in over 140 countries, Dr. Michael J. Freeland Jr. is proof. You get his proof that pain can be transformed into purpose. So today, you guys, we've been exploring how his personal battles gave rise to the mental reel of state. It's a global initiative redefining what it means to heal, lead, live with intention. Thank you so much once again, my brother.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless you.
It's been real. It's been real. So let's keep it moving. In the next hour, we'll cruise the internet. There's a lot of stories that, been making headlines in the country. Bit of siyasa here and there. But you know what? We're also having, of course, the Grey Zone and awesome music coming through. Good evening. Twendekazi.
Some really nice, mature music.
It really took me back to my days, and I can just feel young again and enjoy the vibes.